How's it going, Blazers? Working to bring you specifications you can relate to so you can have an educated decision on your purchases. Just being a little biased here. I like TJ Schwarz as a designer, so these are some of his designs right here. So you have the Caligo, you have the Thero, and then you have the Perpetua, and we have another knife also right there. So we're going to be going through this next one here. This one is provided by CRKT, so thank you very much to that. And then reach out to them. Thank them also for providing content to the channel and to the Pass It On group. But this is going to be how it looks in your pocket if you're going to pick this up. And starting off, it is probably one of the best pocket clips because the tension is good. It's in and out of the pocket well. It's long enough where you don't worry about losing it, but it is very pleasant to take out of the pocket. Even though some other CRKTs look like this as far as the pocket clip, this one is just very nice in and out of the pocket. So screws aren't there. Well, they're there, but just not in your way, so it doesn't catch on anything. The tension's really nice on it, so it's just nice. So that's going to be how this one looks for this knife here. So this one comes in at 3.5 ounces. So for the channel again for that, so that's going to be a total of 17 quarters and 1 penny. So if you have that available, you can pick that up, see what it looks like for you, and actually get that in hand, see what this knife would feel like, or add those things to your favorite knife. If you have like a bug out sitting around that's 1.9 ounces, then you can just add it to it and then get that in hand to see how it is. So currently this is about $54.99. For this one, $69.99 is the MSRP, and with anything, if this is popular, then there'll be a D2 model or some other steel, because this is currently 8 CR13 MOV, and that's about corrosion resistance about 10 percentile, edge retention about 4 percentile. So plus side about that is you can sharpen it up faster. Downside of that, it doesn't have a good edge retention. Overall, still decent, still good, still can get you by, just not great. So that's going to be how that works for that. This is going to be a flat grind for this one here. So flat grind for the knife. Total blade length is going to be 3.05. So that's here. Basically a modified Wharncliffe blade. And then this one, it does have a different ways to open it up. You can open it with a thumb set, of course. It's kind of middle finger. Let's see if we can get it. Yes, middle finger. So pinch and roll out, more traditional style as well. So grab it with 2 hands and open it up. Those are all different methods that I found with it. Cutting edge on this is actually going to be a little bit more. So the cutting edge, since it does have a bit of a belly there, so the blade length again is 3.05. Cutting edge on this is going to be 3.18. So you get a little bit more cutting edge than the actual blade length for the knife, which is a cool little thing there. But that's going to be what this looks like. So 3.3 inches for the handle length here. Really cool little color pops here. So right at the pivot collar, you got that one, and also matching aluminum on the back side. It's just matching color for that. So this is going to be a frame lock. This is a steel frame lock for the knife. So it's a nice little, I like the finish. I mean, it actually matches all the things. So pocket clip match for it. It is a loop over, but that's where some people have issues with it not being a total deep carry clip. But really, when you're using a knife, it's nice to grab onto something. So that's one thing that I really appreciate about the design element of it, is the knife is designed in that way because there's a preference on how deep you want the knife to be. Because a lot of times, if you do have a deep carry clip, when you're grabbing it, you're actually putting tension on the clip. It's really kind of a benefit to others around you more than somebody that's going to be using the knife. So if you're using it a lot, most times a non-deep carry clip is going to be better because you're just grabbing onto the knife, pulling it out of the pocket, not adding any more tension to that clip itself. So that's kind of a good thing there. So beyond edge thickness, this one came in about 7 sheets of paper. So take that out of your printer. That's going to be about 7 sheets, about 25 thousandths for that. And then one thing that I brought up, it came up on a comment as far as degree of ramp. It's like, what does that mean exactly? So degree of ramp for this one is going to be about 24 degrees. So basically from where it is disengaged to when that detent ball is actually onto the blade, this one comes about 24 degrees. So other than, this is kind of my example just because it's so It's just so far before it gets onto the blade. So CRKT also, but there's the Pilar, the large So this is going to be, so disengagement, and then it's going to be all the way to there before the detent ball is actually on the blade. That's going to be comparison from that to that. So detent ball on the blade here up top, detent ball on the bottom. So this is where it's kind of a preference for it, because as you see here, that flipper tab is already past there, so your thumb would normally be under that spot. So the detent ball actually is not on the blade before it's making contact with your finger. So it's just kind of a preference as far as having it closed properly. I like to have the detent ball already on to the blade before it actually makes contact with my thumb, or just makes it nice to close that way. This is going to be a right hand tip up carry only, so non-reversible. So sorry I left these, but that's going to be what this looks like here. G10 on this side, pretty good texture on it, so nothing too crazy. But also you're not going to be having a pocket clip on this side, so that doesn't matter. It does actually help with just the grip, normal use, and everything for the knife. So highlight again is going to be the pocket clip. The thumb stud, I prefer the one on the tuna a little bit. This one can feel a little bit sharp. It does do a job well, but just the ones on the tuna I prefer better. And then as far as a buy, bar, or avoid for this one, I would recommend to pick it up. It does have a few little quirks that could be better, but it's not horrible by any means. And I kind of got to roll out the collection, just keep on buying other designs by TJ. For myself, for you, it might be different for it, but the lockup is going to be a little late on this one, probably about 90%. So that's going to be a little bit further than most people prefer, probably like a 50% for a lockup on it. So this example is a little bit later for that. But also the other thing that is going to be a little bit harder on this one, so if you're using it with gloves, it's not going to be that bad, but jimping's a little bit aggressive, kind of a deep groove. So if that was actually a little bit less deep, it would feel a little bit more comfortable, but that's again a preference thing for that. And then also for the lock bar cutout, so this one actually is a little bit of a sharp edge, so it's not finished. So they did basically cut it out with it, probably an EDM or something, and then just it's not finished. So it just has a little bit of edge to it. So that's kind of also going to be a preference. Nothing that changes the way that it uses in hand, but it's just something that you notice in handling the knife. So that's the few things that I would have to say about that. But this one is going to be in comparison to some other knives here. Of course, we're going to bring out one of the other knives. So if you don't know what that one is, that's Ryan Solaris. We have the PM3. Then we do have the regular bug out. Then we do have the Rat 2. So those are the ones that you have in comparison to it. But overall, TJ's still doing a really good job. Other knives, this is supposed to be coming also out from Millet. So I don't have any Millet knives other than the Perpetua, but I don't have a Millet specific branded knife. So maybe eventually pick up something from them, done up by TJ. I just don't have any of the high-end stuff yet from him. But that's about all I have to say about that one today.